Anyway, we're here to talk about the schedule.
Yes, we're here to talk about the NFL schedule release, one of our biggest days of the year. Let's get to it with. Can we start this with complaint culture? Because we have some complaints about the schedule, and I'm gonna start. I am not happy with most, if all, of the television networks, and I'm normally not happy with them in general when it comes to this. Mostly Fox, because Fox always puts Troy and Joe in the booth for Cowboys games, even though I do like them. I will say I do. I know you guys have differing opinions. But the one thing that I do not like about the schedule every year, and again, we've talked about this before. There's a reason why this team gets slotted in these slots. They make the most money. They have the most intrigue. They are technically a brand. They are America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And guess what? To open up the season, instead of watching, how about Brady versus the Patriots? I haven't looked fully at the Bucs schedule. I'm sure there are many, many other games that were so much better than this one, but we got it. The Cowboys and the Bucs. Seriously, what? This is from a hardcore NFL fan perspective, this is the worst Thursday night game I could have asked for. It's so bad. It's like the NFL opening game is supposed to hype people up for the season. I ain't hyped for this game. Like, we're going to do a post show for it, and the Bucs are probably going to blow them out by 20. Like, honestly, what?
Not necessarily.
Are you guys intrigued at all with this opening night game? Because to me, I'm just not.
I mean, honestly, I could see this being a pretty high-scoring, tight game. Just looking at Dallas's offense.
Their offensive line is trash.
Yeah, they don't have the offensive line they had. They don't even have the offensive line they had last year. They lost their starting center. They just kind of, I don't know. My big reason for thinking this game is going to be a slaughter is because the Buccaneers bring back everybody.
They literally have all 22 starters.
I'm just saying I could see it being like a close, high-scoring game, but
the only thing that makes this game interesting from the Cowboys side is how they drafted, because I think their defense is going to hopefully be a lot better because they actually drafted correctly, as we talked about a couple weeks ago. But Dak, how healthy is he going to look? And I think that at least is going to be interesting because this season kind of really hinges on it. For the Cowboys to be competitive, it's all about Dak, right? It's all about who's at the quarterback position. That's Dak Prescott. How healthy will he even be for this game? I think he's ahead of schedule on rehab, but I'm not exactly sure.
They say he'll be good to go week 1.
Say be good to go. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, I don't like this game. And overall, I just don't like this Cowboys obsession. Again, I get it, brand. I get it for the casual fans. I get it that these networks make a lot of money off the Cowboys. But again, like, the Cowboys can win 3 games and still be intriguing. And the only reason they were intriguing last year was because they were bad. And that's sometimes the case. The Cowboys are just intriguing because they're bad. And it'd probably be the case again this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I imagine they'll be a little better just, having Dak back, and then of course with some of their new additions on defense. But I mean, let's be honest, it'll probably be a couple of years before that really starts to click, just because of how many new guys there are. But I mean, I thought Mike McCarthy was a strange hire. He didn't exactly prove me wrong last year, so we'll see. I'm sure they'll be competitive for the NFC East, but I mean, that doesn't really say a whole lot. Let's be real. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand why it's the opening, because it's the defending Super Bowl team versus America's team. So, I get it, but I agree. It's kind of dumb.
Do you guys think we need to remove the America's team title from the Cowboys? Is there any other team that deserves that title right now?
I don't really think any team should have it. Because, I mean, there's never going to be a team that is like, America's team that everybody loves, right? Because, like, look at the Cowboys. It's like, yeah, they have a lot of fans, but the people that aren't fans of them hate them.
They're polarizing.
Yeah, I mean, same with the Patriots, Packers, Steelers, Seahawks, all these, good teams that have immense popularity. They're all like, they're all kind of controversial, to say the least. So.
Brandon, you had a complaint about the Bucs schedule before you go to your the schedule makers complaint. You didn't really like how easy the schedule looked for the champs.
Yeah, I mean, they play super easy teams. And, like, yeah, I guess it's like a cycle, so it's not really their fault. But still, it just seems, I mean, Shane said this earlier, it seems like every time the Super Bowl winning team has a schedule, they get all the easy teams. Like, they play a lot of easy teams.
The only primary interesting games here, maybe the Rams. Dolphins, I think, are definitely interesting. Washington I'm going to get to Washington. Washington has a super fun schedule. They're really interesting this year. The Colts are going to be fun. The Bills is the one game on their schedule that I'm most interested in. But other than that, Brandon, I think you're right. It is pretty bare bones.
I hope the Bills demolish them. That'd be really funny.
That's super late in the year. Like, that's really late in the year.
Like, when's Tampa's bye?
Let me see. It should show week 9, like right in the middle.
Okay. Could be worse. I guess.
Shane, what are your thoughts overall on like the last few years? I mean, you noticed this trend about these Super Bowl champs getting these, I guess, fairly easy schedules. Again, as Brandon said, it's not really anyone's fault. It's just sort of structured that way. But what are your overall thoughts of it the last few years?
Yeah, it's frustrating because you're supposed to kind of the quota is that you win or you do really well, and then the next season you're supposed to get a schedule that shows why, a schedule that's tougher, and that usually is the case. But then you have, like, the last few years, you get Tampa scheduled this year, pretty easy. I mean, there's really only like 3-4 games in there that are kind of like maybe hard for them.
There's like 2 or 3 that are must watch. Other than that,
yeah, I mean, like,
New England's must watch, honestly, too.
Yeah, like LA could be tough, but I think they probably win. New England obviously is a must watch, but they probably beat New England. Miami could be interesting. I don't know. Depends on
Colts
doing.
Again,
Indy,
as I mentioned,
maybe.
And then Buffalo's the big dog.
Other than that, I mean, that's 3 games. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for like Kansas City last year, right? They had, their schedule was the same thing. It was just a cakewalk. Like the hardest game they had all year was Vegas in week 6 or whatever it was. Like,
yeah, KC and Baltimore have some really tough games on their schedule this year.